But to sort of set the tone, let you know where I'm coming from, I want to ask you a quick question. How many people here have ever flown on Southwest Airlines? Raise your hands. Aren't those the greatest people alive? I mean, they are so much fun because they're doing things all the time that sort of, keep you live and bouncy, and they're so cheerful and everything else. So let me ask you another question. How many people here have ever flown in or out of San Diego? Okay, worst place in the world, absolute worst place in the world to fly in. When you come into San Diego, you come over those mountains, and then you're right down on top of the city. You look like you could just reach out and kick one of those skyscrapers. It's just, it's there. And then going out, you usually go out over the water. Well, not long ago, there was a Southwest flight that was leaving San Diego, and everybody was on board, but they were waiting for the captain and the co-captain to arrive. And they were pretty patient. They were being transferred from another plane. And finally, after about 10 minutes of waiting, in walked the pilot and the co-pilot, both dressed in their blue uniforms, however, both wearing sunglasses, dark sunglasses. The pilot with a white walking cane, and the co-pilot with a lead dog. Now, everybody on the plane started laughing. Is there no end to what they'll do to make us feel good and make us relax before we go off on a plane? They laughed. They thought it was fun. Until about 10 minutes later, the stewardess went over and shut the door to the plane. Now, everybody's looking at each other. Did I miss this or what? The dog is still up there in the captain's cabin, but what's the blind dog doing up there? And how people get nervous. They start feeding off each other. Like, what's going on here? This was a joke, wasn't it? Wasn't this a joke? And they pull away from the ramp, and now it's, it starts to fester and starts to feed, turns into almost a cancer. They get out there on the runway, and they get into position, and now all this doubt is just blooming all over. And they take off down that runway, and as they're going down the runway about halfway, some of the people looked out the window and saw the water coming at them, and in perfect unison, they all started screaming. And just as they screamed, the plane lifted off the runway and ascended into the heavens. And once again, they thought, oh, how foolish are we, getting all excited. It's probably one of those Lions Club dogs, and they're delivering it to another location. Not knowing that in the cockpit, the blind pilot turned to the blind co-pilot, and he said, George, one of these days they're not going to scream soon enough, and we're going to crash. And that's my philosophy, okay? Don't wait for the screaming to begin, all right?